listening to Parts and Charts. I'm Chelsea Owens, the therapist.
And I'm Kate Kashubowski, the astrologer.
Together, we're exploring a hypothesis that internal family systems and astrology work beautifully together.
Each episode, we test that out, and we're so glad you're here with us. Hi, everyone!
Hello!
Woo-hoo!
It's Libra season! Yeah!
Today, we're talking about the Libra archetype. So we're going through all of the archetypes of the Zodiac. We started with Cancer. Now we're at Libra. So we are 1/4 of the way through, which is really exciting and fun.
Wow.
How we do this, we change it every time, but I thought we'd start with just like the basics of the astrological understanding of the sign of Libra. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how to think about that in an IFS way. We'll see what Chelsea brings to that. And then I wanted to talk through some like concepts that have been on my mind as it relates to Libra, like dialogue, justice, beauty, harmony, and how it feels like it's showing up in my client work or in my personal life, especially in relationship, a very Libra thing, right? Okay. So here's the foundational details of the Libra archetype. Libra is a cardinal sign. So there's 4 cardinal signs. That's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And every season begins with a cardinal sign. So cardinal means like enterprising or starting something off. So that's Libra's a cardinal sign, an air sign as well. This is our second air sign, if we're going in order from Aries to Pisces. So our first air sign is Gemini, Libra, and then Aquarius. And Libra is ruled by Venus. So there are 2 signs that are ruled by Venus, and that's Taurus and Libra. And Taurus is the more sensual Libra, the physical pleasure, food, dance, like things that require the body kind of Libra energy, where Libra is the more mental or justice or harmony or beauty based Venus. Well, I would argue Taurus and Libra are very concerned with beauty and harmony, but it shows up differently in both the signs. If we just think about Taurus being earth and Libra being air, right? So that is really interesting to me because when we talk about the energy of Venus sometimes, or at least the myth of Venus, we tend to think of someone who is very luscious and beautiful and sexual and brings pleasure to other people or experiences pleasure in their own life. But what I think we don't talk about Venus enough about is how Venus is also incredibly intelligent and in her own right, or in that energy's own right, can think through and assess and make sense of so many things because of this desire for justice, balance, and beauty. So that's the part of Venus that I don't think that is talked about as often in our culture. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's from my perspective. So I think I'm forgetting another element of Libra. Libra is also the sign of the autumnal equinox. So we started with Cancer energy, and Cancer energy is the height of the sun. So it's like the hottest point, solstice, the most amount of sun. And then from that point out, at the height of the sun, we start losing light. And when we get to the autumnal equinox, so when Libra begins, light and dark are even. But as we go into the Libra season, the Libra energy, the night or the darkness is gaining on the light. So there's more of this internal kind of sense. If we're thinking about the more spring or summer energy, there's more external energy, there's more solar energy, there's more let's go out and do something, where Libra is where we start to go inward. By the time we get to the winter solstice in Capricorn, we are fully in the dark. As much as humans experience the dark, we're experiencing the dark. So I think it's really interesting to bring that up, is that we're beginning to step back and go inward with this season and with this archetype. And Libra is the archetype of balance and extremes, and the yin-yang energy of there is darkness, there is lightness in the dark. So it's really important to think about the Venusian ability to make sense or make judgments, discern in the greater desire to create justice, to create an environment where things thrive, right? So that's Is that a good place to start with Libra? Is there something else I should say
Yeah.
first? Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's Libra energy from the astrological context. I highly encourage people to go to the astrology podcast for the super deep dives. There are like
Mm.
so many really great Libra specific um, podcast episodes that Chris Brennan hosts.
Mm.
So highly encourage you to go there. But that's our foundation for this. So
Mhm.
Chelsea.
And also, you are a Libra sun, so
Mhm.
you have a lot of your own experience to share with us and draw upon for this archetype. Yeah?
Yeah, I don't it's hard to think about being a Libra when I think whatever your sun sign is, it's hard for me to be like, "Oh yeah, that is me," because it's like my heart or my existence, right? Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of dominance in Libra for sure. Yeah. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm like trying to dodge it in a Libra way too. It's like, yeah, that could
I
be true.
know. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. I wonder if it's true. Yeah, that's very
What's that
Libra.
about?
Yeah.
Wait, what house is it again? For all of our listeners who don't know your
My
chart.
it's my 10th house, yeah.
10th house Libra. And what
Mhm.
else is there just for everyone to know? If you want to share.
I have the sun at 0 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And I have Mars and Mercury at 2 degrees. They're like, I think just a couple seconds off, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot going on in that Libra house. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And my Mars and Venus are in mutual reception. So the ruler of my Libra energy, Venus, is in a Mars sign. So yeah, I think about this energy a
Oh.
lot, especially in relation to Martian energy or Scorpio energy.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So we were talking a lot about fragrance.
I just, yeah, I had a very like Libra morning. I sprayed like 200 perfumes on myself. Like just like happenstance, just like walked by a bunch of shops on this like fancy street here, where there's just a plethora of scents to enjoy. And like, and also I feel like I can't decide, like classic Libra, like they're all great. And I like them all. I want all the scents. And you also had a very perfumey day as well.
Yeah. Was that planned? Did we do that on purpose?
It was so not planned.
Yeah. So I did an errand in Milwaukee today and I stopped at the Mayfair Mall. Holler if you know it. Um, and I went to Nordstrom and I just like walked through because I remember that there are a couple brands that I just wanted to try again
Yeah.
because I've been doing this. This is like new for me. I haven't indulged or experienced fragrances for a while because of personal reasons and I realized that they're not gonna kill my brain. So now I'm like super obsessed with it.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so I went back to smell some things because I'm getting like a few samples every month just to test out like what notes I like and like in which ways.
Mm.
And that's so Libra, like to like make small, like to get small experiences in order to make a informed judgment. Because if I'm gonna spend $100 on
Yeah.
something or more than $100, like I really want it to be something that
Yeah.
I value or I care
Yeah.
about, right?
Of course.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't want to make an expensive mistake as much as I
Ooh,
as an extra.
there are no expensive mistakes. So Libra is the scales, right? That's
Mhm.
the, I don't know, that's a symbol of Libra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, to stand for justice, right? Or like, or balance, or both, right? And I'd say if someone doesn't believe in astrology, I'd say like look at some of the classic Libras who are out there doing what they're doing. One of our favorites is Judith Scheinlin, otherwise known as Judge Judy.
I didn't know her last name.
I know, right?
Yeah, she went
I
so
only know that because I play this classic game, the initials game with my friend Sam whenever we go camping, and he has some really good stumpers, and one of them was JS. I was like, what? Like it took me like probably 30 minutes to get it, and it was Judge Judy, one of his. I should have known one of his favorite characters, but yeah, but classic Libra, like a judge,
yeah.
like that is completely astrology illustrating itself.
She's such an interesting example too. Like I don't have her chart available to me right now, but
Yeah, I wish we could
she
look at
had a
it.
lot of energy in
Really,
Libra. It was like such
really.
dominance, but she's also like beautiful. You just like take a look at her. She has
Yeah.
this like arm. She's so beautiful. She
Yeah.
uses language in a really clever, funny way, which like
Yeah.
I think only air signs can
She's
really get
so
away with.
clever. Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
she's so harsh sometimes,
I know.
just by asking questions.
I
And
know.
that's such a Libra thing.
Is it? Oh,
Like
wow.
she's not telling you what she thinks. She's asking a question and you know exactly what she thinks. Like it's
Exactly.
such a good example.
So true.
And a judge, yeah.
I'm a little terrified of her. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Good Hang episode with Leslie? Nope, that's not her name. Amy Paul
Amy Poehler.
from
No,
Judge
I
Judy.
didn't. No, I should.
Okay, so there's this moment where Leslie asked her like something about how do you do negotiations, or maybe Judge Judy brought it up, and she just walked through how she does negotiations in such a detailed and like entertaining way. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you all the details. Go watch it. But
Yeah.
it was like negotiations also a Libra archetype moment. Whenever you're
Mhm.
in a negotiation, you are stepping into that Libran energy
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
you're weighing, you're seeing of what the other person thinks, and then you can respond. And then when you say something, you're seeing how they respond, and your
Yeah.
energy is exchanging in a way. And it's usually mental. Like if we're doing
Yeah.
a monetary negotiation, at least, it's
Yeah.
usually mental, right? Hopefully money's emotional, but hopefully it is in that space where you can be rational about it.
Yeah.
If it's not rational, then you have to take a step back, right? Or you should take a step back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you say that Libra is what's the relationship to conflict in general as the archetype? Like of like more conflict avoidant or like will take on conflict head on?
Okay, so you know that as an astrologer, I'm very Libra about this. Whenever
Tell me
like
more.
someone gives me like a negative connotation or an understanding of an archetype, I'm like, okay, but
Wait, are we assuming that conflict is negative though?
oh, okay, well, I did.
Cuz I go on, but I'll slow up.
Okay, so like the negative stereotype, that's the word. Stereotype of Libra is that they avoid conflict at all expense
Really?
because
Okay.
conflict has that Martian energy and like we want to stay in the Venus place of harmony and like connection.
Sure.
But conflict is the way to get to connection most of the time. Like I think that the more
Mhm.
that we grow into our lives, we understand that.
Yeah.
But when people say like Librans avoid conflict, I don't think that's fair because I know a lot of Librans that like approach difficult situations head on because they know it has to be resolved. Otherwise, it's just going to linger in the background and make everyone uncomfortable forever.
Uh,
So it's like I mean, it's not always either or, right? But
yeah.
I think Librans think a lot about conflict because it's on their mind often.
Uh,
I mean, or like
Okay.
there's this person has this person has this. How can we have them relate or how can we have them connect?
Mhm. Yeah. So it's a little bit more of like a mediator kind of?
Yeah, yeah, even in their own lives.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is making me think of how I get the comment sometimes from close friends of mine who don't have a lot of Libra energy in them is that I approach things objectively,
Mhm.
um, especially interpersonally or like when I'm observing other people outside of my life. I tend to take the very objective point of view. So it's like I'm seeing things in like a data way, though I am very concerned with the emotional resonance of something. So I like to like take a step back, observe, and then step in and do what I can to like relate as my own self. But I would say it might be harder for Librans to understand exactly where they stand in their personal energy when they're talking with someone else who is strong in their own personal energy. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
I feel like I'm getting like really wooey right now or like flowy.
No. Let's go there.
Okay. What do you think about that?
Well, I wanna touch back to that point, but what I was thinking of when I asked about conflict is, yeah, I think I've heard about myth that or heard, the myths of the Libra being a little bit more conflict avoidant. But when it comes to like harmony and balance, I guess I get maybe this is bringing in parts. Like I get that there's maybe a part of you that would want to as, maybe in the Libra archetype would want to like people please in order to create harmony. Um, and yet, um, that doesn't always happen, right? Or, um, we actually need conflict. Like conflict is like a necessary part of life even because we need the balance of opposites, right?
Yeah.
So like we need harmony and conflict, like if we're saying those are opposites. I'm reading this Aikido book right now, and I'm not going to do it justice because I haven't read the whole thing, but it was talking about conflict and how, if even if in our everyday life we didn't have like the conflict of like our teeth like hitting each other to chew food, we wouldn't be able to chew food. We
Yeah.
couldn't eat or like walking, like if we didn't have yeah, if we had like too much balance with walking, like that wouldn't work out too. Like we need conflict in the natural world in order to have harmony, right? If everything was just like too harmonious, and there wasn't any tension, what would life be like? Or life maybe wouldn't even work out, right?
Yeah.
So like we really need that opposite. And yet when it comes to like fighting conflict or like how do you withdraw or do you let it pass you by or do you fight back? That's where the energy can get really interesting for
Well, maybe that's making me think of like before we started recording, I had this example in mind. I don't have it from my personal life, but like imagine that your best friend is potentially going like starting a divorce and you have to be around your best friend's partner in that moment. I think there are some energies that would choose to like curse that person or to just decide that they're on the out and like you're not going to be nice to them. And
mm.
that's a choice. There's so many factors that go into that choice of how you treat your best
Yeah,
friend's partner who may have hurt
yeah,
them, right? But Libra energy, I think, tends to take everything into account in that like cerebral way. And Libra energy tends to be nice to people that their friends are in conflict with. And that can look like disloyalty or that can
mm,
look disingenuous.
mm,
But I would argue that Libra mentality is, well, it's not my place to treat this person like they're on the outs until my friend tells me to do that. Or it's not
yeah,
my place to do this because I don't know if they're actually going to be divorced. I don't know if they're actually going to
right,
stay divorced. 10,
yeah,
20 years from now,
totally,
I'm still my best friend's best friend. And what if she
mm-hmm,
gets back together with this person? Like
yeah,
that kind of mentality.
yeah,
Do you agree? Like sometimes that would look like disloyal to the friend, but it depends on the
um,
friendship, right?
yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Okay.
About fighting back or like when even with your example, like when you actually kind of intervene, right? Or when is it actually necessary to like fight back?
Yeah.
And like according to Aikido, it's like when it's a matter of life or death, which can be so subjective, right? Like, but is your life really in danger? Like, do you actually have to fight back, like because you might lose your own life? Like that, I guess that's justified.
Yeah.
Um, and you have no other options available, and like it's like, okay, I have to fight back and there's no other options available. So it's like you're really exhausting a lot of other avenues first, right? Of like
Yeah.
um negotiation, right? Or even running away if that's what you have to do. Yeah. Or yeah, just I guess withdrawing or letting that energy like I guess being able to be present but also letting that energy kind of roll off your back, right? Or like pass you by.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of the Aikido technique of like, I'm not going to take this on. And I think that that can be really difficult, right? When you're like in a situation where, maybe it's like not, something that's like a question of huge justice, but maybe, yeah, like a friend who's in a relationship and you're like, oh, this doesn't seem good for that person, but it's not my place to say anything, or
Yeah.
it's, like the person's, coming out with me with anxiety or, strife and like, it's like coming at me. I could absorb that and then get riled up and, give them feedback or like want to tell them what to do. but ultimately, like, it's not necessarily going to help you. It's not going to help them, right? Because they're going to have to come to their own terms of whatever the situation is,
Yeah.
which also, like, and that also makes me wonder too about, yeah, like maybe strong, like social justice parts, right? I'll see that with clients sometimes, like that parts that are really striving towards justice and they just get burned out so easily, right? And they're just like so frustrated, so mad. And it sometimes those parts can make it difficult for the whole system to like move forward or know what to do next. Cause there's just like a lot of anger and frustration. And I get it. It's like, how can we not feel those things about the world and justice? And I've heard like Dick and some other IFS facilitators talk about that, like in working with people's like, yeah, I think he even called them like self-righteous parts, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I also get like the energy of that. It's like sometimes there's a righteousness that can almost, it's just so strong sometimes, or parts are like, you really need to understand this, and I'm not going to like decrease the intensity of what I'm feeling until you get it, right? But
Yeah.
sometimes that, because that can feel so strong, it just burns out the system. So it's like you have no energy left to like fight the fight, or
Yeah.
or however you're going to mobilize. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that, yeah, I would imagine like Libra archetype showing up as like justice oriented, social justice part sometimes.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because I think it's more of that like Aries energy, the anger and the fight
Mm,
that inspires us to fight for justice. But then
yeah.
it's the Libra energy that is maybe a little cooler, more objective, that can sustain that energy and maybe be more strategic, more mental. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and like
Uh-huh.
discern, okay, on Wednesdays I can do this because I also have to work a full-time job and raise sheep. I was gonna say kids, but sheep. Or something like that. Like, that there's a need for justice, a need for balance in the universe with the Libran energy. But the way that Libran energy goes about getting justice is very different from the fire. But we
Mm,
need all archetypes in
hmm.
these fights for justice, right? But I
Hmm.
think Libran energy can express in language what maybe other archetypes can't in the moment. And then
Yeah.
going back to the,
Yeah.
is it Aikido? Is how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay, AI.
Yeah.
Okay. I read some stuff about Aikido. I love it. You brought up Aikido because Aikido is martial arts. So there's that like the balancing of the Martian energy to go out and fight or to
Yeah.
practice with
Yeah.
the body. And then there's a Venusian energy of like making sure that when you use your body, it's for the greater good or it's
Yeah.
that you're
That's
making the right
so
decision.
true.
Yeah. So it's like it's really cool to see both of those planets in that practice. And I think also it's very Saturnian practice because it's like
Mm,
in the long run, you're working on your body so your body can live as fully and as long as it can,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's why I understand that the purpose of that martial art is. But while you're practicing longevity, you're learning how to make really good decisions
Yeah.
physically and mentally. Yeah,
Totally.
I really want to deep dive on that practice for sure. There's this thing about Libra energy makes me think about when you go into a space or a store or someone's home and it just feels so pleasant to be there.
Mm. Mhm.
And okay, so think about that. There's a place that is so pleasant, and then there are places that are so luscious and beautiful and like you're walking into like eye candy spaces. And then there are places that are really uncomfortable to be because the lighting is terrible. The seating is not like comfy, that kind of stuff. The Libran energy is so balanced that you don't even really notice what's happening. So I call that like the je ne sais quoi feeling.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
Libran people, in my experience, like their spaces or the way that they do their makeup or the way that they use their language or the way that they connect people, it's like it feels seamless, maybe
Mhm.
effortless. But of course there's like great intention in what they're doing. If they intend to do something, they usually do it with that je ne sais quoi sense. I'm curious if
Mhm.
like you've sensed that in other Libran people in your life. You know? Like
Mm.
so much consideration to the point where other people can't pinpoint everything that was decided.
Ooh.
I
Mhm.
love when I get that feeling too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like perfumes, like there's
Mhm.
also like the theory of color seasons that was really big in the 80s and is really big now again.
Yeah. Right.
Like that whole theory is based on harmony.
Yeah.
So like someone who has like very soft features can wear black and white stripes. Like you can wear whatever you want in this world. And wearing
Yeah.
black and white stripes against very soft features is going to have the effect of like a dramatic effect, right? But the whole color seasons theory is based on harmony. So if you have soft features, your clothing should have soft features as well. So that
Oh.
everything feels cohesive and like there's a je ne sais quoi, like it just all fits, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So it's not telling you you can't wear bright colors, right?
Mhm.
But we're here doing this for harmony.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway,
Oof.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah.
Or like we're talking about
Have you
fragrances
ever like
again, like go ahead.
here we go with perfume. Parfum. I never thought about the je ne sais quoi connection, but it makes sense to me since Libra's like very focused on aesthetics, right?
Yeah. And like
And
comfort and pleasure.
yeah, it's not just like
Yeah.
the the visual aspect of aesthetics, but how it feels, right? And yeah, like everything that goes into and includes all the senses of a place or what your body feels like in a place. Yeah.
Yeah, and how like every archetype offers care in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Libra offers care in consideration. And it
Mm.
usually is like aesthetic consideration. Like if you're friends with a Libra and you're going out to dinner and they chose a place with good lighting. They chose a good place with good
Oh.
music. Like that's the way that they show they care.
Mm-hmm.
We can go through the other archetypes and with that
So
theory that
they're
like
the vibe coordinator.
they are because they understand that the vibe, the je ne sais quoi, the things that we can't really pinpoint
Mm-hmm.
does change our experience for the better or the worse.
Yeah.
So if we're in like a concrete room and it's cold and like it's supposed to be like a party, um, that's going to make the party feel cold and concrete and maybe little like uncomfortable. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff that maybe not other archetypes think about, but they think about other things. And this is what Libra can do is to make the vibes pleasant. Well, cohesive for connection.
I love that. Is the etymology of the word do you do you know what it is? Is it just book? Is it
Oh, that is interesting. I did look it up recently and it's completely out of my head.
let's look it up.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
got time. Google it. Leave yeah, because
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it means it's from Latin meaning scales or pound. Um,
wow, really?
like at the get-go, Libra has so much to do with like making decisions or weighing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we still use LB to
Uh-huh.
denote pounds
Pound.
in our language.
And that
And
comes from Libra? My gosh. Wow.
there was something else that was really interesting to me that had to do with Egyptian language, but I'm not going to find it.
Wow. That's so cool. Do
Yeah.
you feel like I mean, and there's so many amazing Libra writers, as you know, because 'cause you're one of them.
Well, see, always gassing me up.
Somebody's gotta do it. Do you feel like Libra writers especially are so good at, um, like, creating that connection or, like, aesthetically creating character or characterization, um, in a very, like, Libra way? Perhaps excel at um, maybe fiction writing, especially in like the creation of what they want the reader to feel, or how they want them to feel, or what they want them to see, visually or mentally through their writing. What do you think?
I feel like I think about this so much that it's hard for me to articulate what I think. Um, so I have to go to just a specific example.
Yeah.
So there's a poet, Larry Levis or Levis, I don't know how to say his last name, who's I know he's a Libra sun, I don't know his other placements,
Mm,
but he almost every poem is about divorce. His
really?
his own divorce or just the concept of divorce. And that is such a Libran thing, especially for a Libran who's experienced divorce to write about it. So like to have this like really consistent theme of a relationship breaking or having a relationship. I think Yorgos Lanthimos also is a Libra, Sun and Mercury, maybe something else. And his movies are maybe his newer ones aren't, but they have so much to do about relationships.
Yeah.
Either it's like family relationships or like deeply bonded marriages or just like if we think about the favorite, the queen having these like really close women friends that become like or have been sexual partners.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's like such a general thing to say, like every story is about love and partnership, but I don't think that's true. I think that
Yeah.
such a Libran emphasis for writers
Yeah.
and artists to depict or explore relationships.
Mm.
Trying to think of another fiction writer that, but no one's coming to mind other than F. Scott Fitzgerald, but he might be a Virgo sun. I believe he's a
But-
Libra sun, so we'll go with that. Every single thing he wrote was about his marriage or pining after a woman, or it was all about women
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
100%. And then you put that in contrast with his friend and fellow writer Ernest Hemingway. His stories also had a lot to do with relationships, but it usually
Yeah.
always felt like the main character's life. And then there
Mm-hmm.
were relationships in it. But if we look at F. Scott's, I've read too much of his work. It was 100% about relationships.
We all have.
Do you have someone
Have
in
you
mind?
have
Oh,
you
good.
read I haven't read any Faulkner, have you? I know that he's a Libra.
No, I have not.
No.
Yeah, I want to, for sure.
Do you? Yeah, I know. Who
Capote?
else?
Capote was a Libra.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Obsessed with other people's private lives and relationships, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he wrote. Yeah, so I'm like, is this a general thing? Like, let's think about an Aries
Oh
writer. Do
yeah,
they
Rumi, right? We're like
Rule?
Rumi. If Rumi's a real
Mhm.
person, I mean, so much about love and relationships.
Yeah. And E. E. Cummings, he had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
replacements. His what's his famous poem that a lot of weddings include? I hold your heart within my heart, right?
Oh.
Is that how it goes? Such a lovely poem and a lot of I would say he does more with playing with language than talking about relationships, but he does write a lot of romantic poems. And I
Mm.
think I have a hard time with romantic poems if they don't have something like a crocodile in it or something strange. His use of language is the crocodile, right? Something that a poetry teacher said to someone once that I don't remember the quote, but always put
That's
a
great.
crocodile in the poem.
Yeah.
So the way that he used language was the crocodile. So I feel like he can talk about love
Mm.
if he's gonna
Mm.
mess around with like how the words are
Mm.
laid on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about Libran writers. I do
Do you?
I do think that Libra dominant poets at least, there's just a sense of like beauty in like the word choice even down
Mm-hmm.
to the level like there's I think a resistance to using harder words or harder
Mm-hmm.
sounds
Mm-hmm.
if they aren't done in a really aesthetic or intentionally beautiful way. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. I wish I had example. I didn't do my homework on this, so yeah, but that's my impression. And then poets that maybe are I keep saying Aries because Aries is the opposite of Libra.
I could see that.
Aries poets tend to write from um like a photojournalistic kind of way. Like they're giving us the details and they're just giving it to us straight.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of Aries dominant poets that were war poets or like they journalistic feeling poets, which is so different from the Libra energy of like, I am giving you the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it might not be like 15,000 people were murdered in this city, right? Which is very Aries energy. And Libra
Mm-hmm.
energy is like, we lost the many souls of our people. Like it would sound more like that. Um, yeah, yeah,
I just made the connection that those are that Aries and Libra are opposites.
yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, so every Mars ruled sign and every Venus ruled sign are opposite from each other. There's two. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, is opposite of Scorpio, ruled by Mars, and then
Wow.
Aries and Libra are opposite. So Mars and Libra are really often in conversation more so than any other planets, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like we can talk about other planets in relation to Libra, but it's really Mars and Saturn that have a lot of really interesting things to put in contrast to the Venusian energy.
Interesting.
Um,
I have so many questions. Do you feel like the since since a Libra archetype is often striving towards beauty, like or to experience beauty in all forms, do you feel like sometimes that could show up as maybe like parts that experience like too much beauty in excess or like what would maybe an excessive or extreme or unbalanced dynamic look like? Could it like be substance abuse? Is there a
Interesting.
strong correlation or do we have some stats on like on that Libras who battle with substance abuse?
Oh,
I'm thinking of like
interesting.
firefighter parts and
Yeah,
um um yeah, this I guess just like ecstasy, like this love of life and experiencing all of it and also maybe avoiding certain conflicts or pains, right? Or avoiding feeling a whole slew of emotions that you don't want to feel and the striving towards beauty or like the goodness of life or chasing that feeling, which could look like, a part that loves substances or
that's really
yeah.
interesting because when you started asking the question, I was like, what's the seven deadly sin for Libra energy?
Yeah.
And is vanity one of them?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if vanity, maybe gluttony,
Okay.
but going back to I think the core of your question is like, what are like the cautions? I like to use the word caution. And I do think that there's denial for sure is a huge caution for Libra energy. Like,
Oh, really?
when something's ugly or hard to accept because it's not beautiful or it's not fair, denial, put it
Mhm.
away, or just like hope,
Oh.
hope it fades or hope someone else deals with it. That feels right. And maybe
Okay.
substance abuse supports
Yeah.
denial.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And then I was thinking about like I think vanity is what I mean to say when like I'm thinking about the dynamic of like or the experience of having an open conflict with, let's say, a friend in
Mhm.
public and like
Yeah.
hating anyone noticing or witnessing that. So like making sure
Yeah.
that you go into private so it can be
Yeah.
not witnessed by other people. And that might be vanity, right?
Yeah, I could see
Like
that.
you don't want other people to perceive you as someone
Mhm.
who's in conflict.
Sure. Mhm.
Something like that, which I think could also lead to substance overuse, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Um, because you want people to think that you're fun or you want people to think that you're something else. So then a substance might help you
Yeah.
present in a more harmonious or beautiful way. I'm just thinking about people who've made comments of like alcohol just makes them more fun or whatever
Mhm.
that comment is. Now, what do you think? Like, how would an IFS based firefighter with Libra energy look, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think what we were just describing could look like firefighters trying to, yeah, shield or, yeah, any protector part, not just a firefighter, but trying to manage maybe perception of, yeah, how one looks. Yeah, I was thinking about managers, like, yeah, there's such strong mental energy. So, some strong managers
Yeah.
and then like of course with the the justice oriented parts and then maybe I don't know, maybe some people pleasing parts.
Yeah.
I say that with a giggle because it's like both I recognize that in myself and I know that it's talked about a lot and sometimes people pleasers get a bad rap, but I feel like that is usually seeking harmony, right? Or like seeking maybe avoidance of conflict or to smooth things over, or it's worried about that energy is like worried about other people's emotions or how you're being perceived,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of, it's very nuanced, but I'd say like, okay, maybe there's some like people pleasing. What else? Anything you notice in yourself that you feel like pointing out
I got them
before we go?
all. I got them all, the vices. All
all
7.
the, yeah, all the vices.
The deadly sins. I don't know. I'm still so new to the IFS framework that I'm still trying to like feel around how the archetypes would show up in different parts or different types of parts. Now I'm curious about how Libra energy would show up in self energy. How would you describe that?
Hmm.
Look at us
Well,
thinking.
real time. Well, you know that all the 8 C words, right? Yeah.
Cool. Crafty.
See, there's so many more than just the 7. Maybe clarity, like that's like
Mm,
a mental energy. Maybe like that like insistence on finding harmony or finding balance or like finding justice. That feels also like if it's not coming from a part, if there is self energy in that, that feels like a higher vibration, right? Or that like I
yeah.
think wanting justice, you know, feels like self energy to me, right?
Yeah,
No
and
matter
like
what the
being courageous enough to express that justice is not yet and how to get it or what
Mhm,
must be done to have justice, right? So it's like it
mhm,
takes so much courage to speak
mhm.
up.
Yeah.
And it's speaking up. Like Libra energy when it comes to justice is often speaking or correcting a wrong verbally.
Mhm,
Yeah. Or if we're thinking
mhm,
about like lawyers, a very Libran character type is like being able to articulate why something isn't just and um how to convince other people about that
mhm.
on that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Persuasion. Libra energy is
mhm.
so much about persuasion.
It is. Oh,
And like some signs persuade in different ways. Like there are some
mhm,
signs that are full of pathos, and there are some that are ethos, and there are some that are what's the other one? Logos.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I think Libra energy knows how to balance all 3 of those so that I'm like thinking
mhm.
about my composition teaching days. Convincing argument or persuasive argument, you
Mhm,
can't just appeal to someone's emotions. You can't just appeal to someone's mind. You have to include
mhm.
all parts. Yeah. Which
Oh,
takes a
yeah.
lot of mental energy in the moment to do that, especially like
Mhm.
ad hoc, you know,
Oh,
during a
yeah.
conflict.
Totally. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't choose to become a lawyer. But that was like the career path I had in mind for a long time. Glad it didn't go down that path. But I have at least one friend that I can think of right now who is a Libra, who is a public defender in New Orleans. So
Love that.
he's one of my only Libra lawyer friends that I know of, I think. We love to make
We
fun of
all
him too.
I wish all of us a Libran lawyer whenever we need them.
Right? I wish everyone a Judge Judy,
Yeah.
period.
Period. Full stop. Okay, what else should we talk about before we wrap up this episode? What feels most urgent?
Most urgent. I mean, did we talk about Venus enough?
I think we did.
Did
I
we
think
get did we give Venus enough of our
yeah,
love and
she's hot.
grace? She's hot.
Well, she has everything. She
I'm
yeah.
I am jealous. There's a part of me that's jealous that you are Venus ruled. And I
Well,
am not, but
all of us have Venus, right?
yes, all of it, we contain all of it. We contain the multitudes of
Mhm.
all the gods and goddesses and archetypes.
Yes. It's just that Venus tells me what to do more than maybe you do. Like you have a little bit more control when it comes to Venus energy, and my Venus is like, this is how we do this. This is how we want to do
Really?
it, right? Yeah. I don't know. That's the way to think about it. Like
Mm.
I don't have a lot of Mercury energy in my chart. I have nothing in Virgo in Gemini, and I wonder how that would feel to have Mercury be a more present part, you know? But that's a good yeah.
You're perfect. Change nothing.
Thank you. Well, So our listeners, we can make some assumptions that you're interested in internal family systems and also astrology, which is
Mhm.
likely that you use astrology for healing or self-understanding, or you experience IFS to get a greater sense of your experience on this planet in this life,
Mhm.
right? So like
Yeah.
what can be helpful with Libra energy in those two, or that kind of intersection?
What can be helpful? Like, you're asking for, like, how to apply this or
Yeah. Maybe I'm being a little opaque. I guess I'm thinking about how like Libran energy is the dialogue, is the conversation. And like in my experience of IFS so far, it does feel like the parts are exchanging ideas and desires, and there's negotiations being done, or
Mhm.
like in our demos, you've asked parts to take a step aside so we can focus on one part. That felt like Libran skills to me. Like being
Oh,
able to tell a part, we'll get to you, you're important. But right now we're talking to this person. Like that takes a level of grace and clarity and communication. So like that's kind of what I was thinking, but maybe there's something that comes to mind.
that's yeah, I like hearing that your interpretation or, like, yeah, how you're experiencing it, because I mean, that's just, like, a part of the protocol when it comes to,
Yeah,
like, how to do IFS. It's a part of yeah, it's just a part of the model, but, where that actually comes from, like, how Dick kind of discovered that is based off of his work as a family therapist. So, like, if you were
interesting.
sitting in a family therapy session, and this is how he describes it, if maybe the 10-year-old child is talking to the therapist, therapist is asking that child some questions about maybe they're, I don't know, being too loud at school or something, they're having some kind of issue, and the therapist is trying to hear what the child's saying, and maybe the mom jumps in and is like, well, she's being so loud and, like, talkative at school because blah blah blah, and this is wrong, and that's, and you're like, whoa whoa whoa, like,
Yeah,
as the therapist, you would, like, direct that member to be quiet and be like, can you let her answer? Like, I hear your, concern. I hear what you're saying. I hear your worry. I hear, that you, like, want to step in and help out, or you care, and that's why you're jumping in. Got it. But can you take a step aside and, like, so that I can just dialogue with, this child? Um, so we're doing that internally too. We're doing that with our own parts because parts would love to jump in and, like, fill in the blanks or care or tell someone to shut up or, do X, Y, and Z. So we're getting self energy on board in order to kind of direct that
yeah,
and be like, all right, I hear you. Let's come back to that. We can come back to that later. We're going to sit with this first. Yeah.
interesting.
And hear more about that. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know about the genesis of it. And also
Yeah.
like just like being a marriage and family therapist is also very Libran, like
I
someone
guess
who's
so.
facilitating
Yeah.
discussion between bonded people.
Yeah. 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 It's the conductor, right? In the
Yeah,
symphony.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we did it. Thank you,
I really
Libra.
hope so because I really I don't know much about this archetype, and all I know is through you, and uh I hope that we gave it enough attention that it needs.
I think
And
we did.
I'm curious to hear more, even through working with you and your parts, like, what feels like it's showing up as, maybe kind of a Libra part, or
Yeah.
parts that encompass, like, your Libra house. Yeah.
One of
We'll
our
find
first
out.
demos, yeah, one of our first demos was that pretty snake or marvelous snake. I forgot the words, but it's like that.
Dazzling.
Dazzling. That was Libra. That was 100% Libra
Mm.
energy to me. Someone who's like just so cunning, but also so dazzling. Like, love that. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it kind of like a bookish, like, was it kind of bookish? Was like a book nerd or something? Or it
That
just,
makes
like,
sense.
does it?
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
nerd in, like, the most positive, amazing
Oh, yeah.
sense of the word.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know.
In this house, nerd
In
is a
this house,
compliment.
it is what we're striving for.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology Podcast. If something sparked insight or resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you.
No, really, we're here to make friends. Reach out to us, leave a comment, subscribe, and if you feel called, share this episode with someone you care about. Or if you want to work with us one-on-one and go deeper with this work, check the link in the show notes for how to find us.
Until next time, may all parts of you feel like family.